everyone. My name is Brenda, and I'm here representing my mom, Juanita. She's the one that Don mentioned earlier. And Claire, we are so proud of you. Your faith is very strong.
Thank you.
This is my mom's story when I danced. And for the most part, it's all true. And if Grandpa would have got a hold of her, we could dance like you would not believe. She doesn't want to brag. She says, I don't want to brag, but I was a really good dancer. All my family could dance. We did the jive and the twist. When they saw us coming, it was just like they were seeing Jesus on the cross. People got excited to see us walk in the door. There were not too many who could dance like us. The crowd got excited. At that time, there was no pants, just dresses. We did all sorts of twirling. If my father would have caught me there, would have been no more dances for me. You didn't go looking for the rules. That was just a joke. Yes, it was so much fun. I'm not sure what they taught at church, but they never said anything to us, so I didn't care. The dances were at the Hall in Pitt de Gras, and when there were none there, we went to the Hall in Ayrshire. There was no price to go to the dances. You would just give them some coins, and that was all. I think it was 25 cents. And then there were all those house parties. Of course, I got up and danced at all of them. What did you want me to do? We had 4 sisters and 4 brothers in our family, and all the girls would have a brother to dance with. We were all dancing together. If the youngest one was in trouble, the older one would be big enough to take care of them. The oldest one had a car, and the youngest ones would get a drive with them. The radio was on the shelf in the corner of the cupboard. It was never turned off. I would always listen to all kinds of music on the radio. Music is my thing. We ordered records through the mail, too. Oh, I remember my records. I can't forget that. They are my dreams. We listened to Paul Anka, Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, and the goodness gracious Great Balls of Fire. Patsy Cline was one of my favorites. She was so good she had to go. The end. I'm very proud to share my mother's story with you. And this is how we grew up. House parties. My family were all musicians. They all played guitars and everybody danced. And Mom would sing. And she still sings to this day, karaoke or whatever goes on at CNN, she's there. So I thank you for this worthwhile project. It means a lot.
This booklet is by Marjorie. So on the back, and it's my sister. My name is Marjorie Roston, and I'm only 54 years old. This story is about Inez, my sister. She is my rock, and the only person I can truly depend on. We grew up in Sydney. It was good. We were never in want or need of anything. There were 5 children in the family. I am in the middle, and my sister is the oldest. She is 4 years older than me. I also have 3 brothers. We would go skating and swimming. We were always gone in the summer when it was nice, going for drives to different beaches and camping. We would sit and sing with Dad while he played the guitar, old country like Merle Haggard and Chris Christopherson. My sister's kids are like my kids, and her grandchildren are like my grandchildren. I know that if anything ever happened to me, she would be the first person my kids would turn to. I have 2 kids. My son Jerry is 25, and my daughter Kelsey is 22. They both live in Calgary. I took sick in 2013 and spent most of that year in the hospital. My diabetes attacked my heart, my kidneys, and my eyesight all at once. I spent a month in Halifax and the rest in Sydney. When I got home at the end of December, my husband, who was working out west then, said he was leaving me, and that was the end of that. My sister was by my side throughout the whole year. She has been by my side for everything. I had to figure out what I was going to do. We were living with my dad before he passed away in 2012. But all I had was my disability, so after he passed, I could not keep the house. I went to live with my sister in Framboise. I had so many appointments, and my sister and her care of me and gave me anything I needed or wanted. As I was recovering, my legs were not getting any stronger and I started having falls. My family doctor made an appointment with a neurologist and did what I call the torture test. But I could not feel anything below my knees. He also did an MRI on my neck and shoulders and found I had bone deterioration, causing a bone to press in my spinal cord. I had to see the neurosurgeon. My sister and I were waiting to go into the OR for surgery, but it did not happen. My creatine levels were too high. I stayed with my sister for a year, but was in the hospital a few times. I had to think really hard about this, but I told her I could not go back to her house. I knew if I did not say something, she would not have said anything either. So she had to shower me, dress me, and we did not get home care. So I went to stay in the hospital. I was in Cape Breton Regional Hospital for about 4 to 5 months before I got the call to come here, St. Anne's Community and Nursing Care Centre in Ayrshire. I was to stay here temporarily until there was an opening in Sydney. At first I was really upset. I was so far from home and did not know anyone. But after I was here for 2 weeks, I called my sister and told her I was not going to take the transfer to Sydney that I had put in for. People here were really nice, and I did not want to leave. Both the residents and the staff just made me feel so welcome. I knew that if I went to Sydney, I would not get the care that I get here. My sister is here almost every week, and we go to Port Hawkesbury for the day to go shopping. She still pays for all my medications, but thankfully I'm no longer on as many as before because I'm doing much better. She always asks how I am. Seems like she is never concerned for herself. And if I ever need anything, I know she would do whatever she can for me. So that's Marjorie's story.
Hello everyone, my name is Robert Goyas and I'm happy to be up here at this moment reading my uncle's story at the back there. He's 94 years old, Etienne Sampson, and his daughter Linda is home from Ontario. And we welcome her here this evening also. We're down for a visit. Anyway, the title of his story is A Good Education. I never went to school. I never had a chance. The little bit of education I got was from my dad. The basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. While I was working with him in the woods, at night he would give me homework to do and I had to do it. During the day, I was cutting up wood for Mercy paper. That is what we had to do because we didn't have enough to eat. You had to try and catch whatever you could to get a meal out of it. So instead of going to school, I was working in the woods. I was called to the army during wartime, but instead I went to work for a priest who was running a farm. He also had a parish here in Richmond County, in Johnstown. I worked there for the better part of 5 years. I had a good bed to sleep in, and the parish was feeding me. I got $1 a day. We were poor. I remember what it felt like to be hungry, but I kind of forgot that when I worked for the priest. The money I made went back home to my mother, and I was glad. They were the hungry 30s. Times got better, and there was more you could do for work as I got older. But when you don't have education, and everything is tough. I was a bit lucky. I took chances. I had a bit of a company myself, and this was how I made a living doing construction work. I first worked for a construction company when I was about 21 years old. I was a laborer. But then came winter and there was no work in the winter months. We had to hunt around for a job somewhere else. The man who was my supervisor told me to go out and buy a truck. I said I couldn't buy anything for myself because I had nothing. He asked me why I didn't go to the bank. No one even knew what a bank was at that time. He told me to get someone to sign a note for me and I could get a loan. I didn't know anyone to do that for me, so he said he would. I used that truck to continue working with that company for another couple of years. That is how I got started. After that, I worked for myself all my life until it was time to retire. I got along fairly well. I retired around 1984-85. I brought up 3 girls and a boy, and they are all doing very well for themselves. They all have a good education, and my wife and I were married for 65 years. And that was my aunt. She just passed away this past March, so they had a long, loving wedded relationship. So that is the story.